People sort of come across there every now and then. And what are the characters in there? I mean, it's from what I haven't read the book myself, but it's a bit of a fantasy novel.
Yeah, it's like a fantasy adventure. He gives the main character Tenon. He gets like a magical item, and then he has to learn how to use it, and he's thrown into a war, and then he has to figure out what he has to do to keep alive and make new friends and things like that.
And how did you come up with this character? I mean, Tenon.
He sort of just develops along the way, and sort of I'm sure part of me is in there as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do people know? I mean, do you do book signings and things like that? I mean, how many people know that you've written this book? I mean, it's a fairly successful book, right? You keep a bit of a low profile.
I need to step up the marketing a bit and get the book into people's viewpoint.
Yeah. Where is the book distributed?
It's the publishers in America, and it's available through all the different online stores. And
So is it when you go through that process of writing a book? I mean, you obviously have to work with a publisher and so on.
Yes, and editor as well, and then
an editor. So you write it and someone else edits it.
Then you go and then they go through it and they give you this can be changed and this is wrong and take that out. And make this more clear and.
Oh, right, okay. And then you have to sort of... So, as an author of a book, then, because I'm trying quite hard to understand what is the process here. Like, how do you write a book? And I think most people look at it and they look at a book and they go, well, this is impossible to do.
Yeah, it does seem, on the outside, it does seem to be very hard. But once you get into it, you learn more and you get to know other writers and you, interact and then you learn from them. And as a writer, you're always learning something new.
Okay. So, what made you decide to write? How did you? You're fairly young. I always picture people like Grisham or whatever, like 50 years old and glasses and grey beard.
Hats and I thought, because I always had a wild imagination, and I thought I'd put it to use, and instead of inflicting it on other people, I thought I'll write it down, and if they want to read it, they can read it if they want to.
Okay, all right. And what guides you to this kind of thing? I mean, from a novelist's point of view, one can come up with lots of things. You can come up with crime stories. You can come up with anything,
like thrillers.
Yeah. Okay. You see what I mean? I'm not good at this. You're gonna have to guide me in this conversation. But you came up with real fantasy stuff. Your fairies and hobgoblins.
And. I think because you can make your own world, it's easier because if you're doing like a crime novel or a real world novel, you have to do a lot of research. But in fantasy, you just make up your own world. And
is this something you think that anybody can do? I mean, people that are listening right now, if they wanted to write,
if you put enough work into it, and if you make it your passion to carry on writing.
Yeah,
I think anybody can do it.
So is it hard work, like a lot of hard work? I mean, obviously you have to be disciplined and you've got to put pen to paper.
Yeah, it can be when there's a deadline. You have to make sure you get everything finished before then. It's always a good motivator.
Who gives you the deadlines?
It's normally the publisher or the editor as well.
Really? What do they say to you? Like, you're going to have this finished by next week? Or?
Yeah, then, because the editor, you normally go through like 4 or 5 times, and then you want to do this one, then we'll go back again, and we'll do it again and again.
So how does that work from a structure point of view? If you write a book, do you have to go to a publisher yourself, or do you find an editor? I mean, who pays the editor? That kind of thing. How does it work?
It depends on if you like a traditional publisher, then they'll do all the agents, they'll do all the editing for you, and they'll find an editor to work with. But if you're like doing it through like a small press, then sometimes you have to find your own editor, or they pair you with another author and you edit each other's books.
Okay. And is this? I mean, how many writers have we got in South Africa that are writing novels like yourself? Are there quite a few out there?
There's quite a few.
We just don't know who they are.
There's Lauren Bukes and Paige Nix.
So there's a couple out there. Okay, so the Redstone. Tell us a little bit about the character Tenon. What does he do? Who is he?
He's born in as like a wizard, and he's chained to do all the different spells and things like that, and then.
Okay, so the roaming wizard, and then your next book was Zulan Vale and the Chalice of Ringtar.
It's just a continuation of his story.
Still with Tenon.
Yeah, it develops into his role as a Lord Protector. So
who would you recommend the book to? Is it more of a younger crowd?
Yeah, pretty much a young adult sort of genre, and then but it's for all ages.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. And I mean, what do you, your daily sort of life? I mean, you sort of live the life of this quiet, celebrity. People are reading your material, and you're reasonably chilled out. What's your day consist of? I mean, you live close to Cape Town. You wake up in the morning. Does it start writing for you, or do you go for a jog, or what is it?
Normally check all my Facebook and Twitter feeds, and then start normally read like for an hour to get into the thought process of writing, and then normally write for a couple hours and then have a break, and then.
So what would you read?
It's mainly fantasy, but at the moment I'm trying to read a lot of non-fiction.
Okay, all right. So if folks want to buy your book, where do they go? I mean, where is it? Online? I mean, exclusive books and such?
Yeah, exclusive books, loot.co.za and Kalahari. Just use your favorites.
Right. What's next on the cards for you?
Busy working on a project with 3 other writers, South African writers.
Yeah.
It's called Crumbling Ruins. It's like a post-apocalyptic story, and we each have one character each.
Yeah.
And we write one chapter, and then the next write another chapter, and we're like on 10 chapters in. So.
How do you synchronize that? I mean, how do you know what the other guy's going to write about? You've each got your own character.
Yeah. That's the challenge, because you never know what the next writer's going to do, so you try to paint the other writer into a corner so they...
Are you kidding me? A little bit of a chess game.
And normally we're insulting the other character as well, so putting them down. And so.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Smith in the studio with me at his Celebrity Tuesday. Craig's written a couple of novels, The Red Stone. I find these books absolutely fascinating. Zul and Vale and the Chalice of Ringtar, and a few more coming out there. So, Craig, who inspired you to start writing when you were younger? Who are the authors that you...
Pretty much Terry Pratchett and Tolkien and David Eddings.
Tolkien, of course, the
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit is my favourite.
Yeah.
It's shorter than the Lord of the Rings and a lot more packed into it.
Do you think people do it right when they convert these books into movies?
Most of the time they leave a lot of the art, and sometimes they add things the fans don't really want in the movie.
Do you think your book's going to make it to the movies?
It's a wish of mine, but it's more like a daydream, really. But hopefully one day.
Craig Smith, thanks for joining me on Good Up FM. We'll leave it at that. And for folks who want to find out more about you, where do they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Craig W.F. Smith.
What's the W for?
Warren.
Okay, and on Facebook as well?
Yeah, and then you can use the Redstone link.
Of course, yeah. All right, Craig. Well, thank you for joining us on Good Up FM, and I've got to get hold of this book at some stage. I'm loving the Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff, and so I've got to start with the Redstone, right?
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
Craig Smith,
and
Good Up FM, and the Redstone. You want to go and check out that book, and remember Zul Vale and the Chalice of Ringtar also out there. And what did you say is the next one coming out?
Crumbling Ruins.
Crumbling Ruins.
Yeah, we're busy writing that. So
who are the other 2 authors?
3 authors. It's Dave Brendan de Burgh, Yanni Gray, and Luke Duplessis.
Oh, so there's 4 of you.
Yeah.
Kind of hectic.
Yeah,
all right. When I come back, we're going to have a look at what's happening in the world of mountain biking. Hanley Steyn-Kotze is the president of Mountain Biking's Clinic. Craig, thanks for joining me on Good Up FM, where we'll be keenly following your work.
Our pleasure, and thanks for having me over.
Thanks, bye.
Presenting the sounds of summer. Sizzling summer sounds with Good Hope FM. Your summer connection. Summer. Feel it.
Hey, baby, there's something on my mind. It